first start. I just spoke with Nick McGlynn moments ago. You could see the disappointment all over his face. But he said, hey, I'm going to be the best hype man I can possibly be from the bench. His message to his teammates was simple. Play like you're capable, and the rest will fall into place. It's next man up, guys.
Melanie, thanks. Been that way all season. Nick Norton injured his left knee a few weeks back, and then the final regular season game, DJ Wilkins broke his ankle, and now the McGlynn injury. They responded well yesterday. We'll see how they do in the semifinals, and a good start. Tramel Murphy, he and his twin brother Anthony were electrifying yesterday.
And that's what we saw Tramel Murphy do yesterday, just muscle his way to the basket. Northern Iowa's got to do a better job keeping in front of him.
Wyatt Lohaus had 21 in the quarters. Willed them to the victory. Burt Howe on a 3 straight away. Rattles off, and here's Noah Thomas, and he is explosive. Thomas down the lane, look at this. Flips it out. Anthony Murphy, the twin brother, too strong at his first jumper. Rebounded by Isaiah Brown, a junior from Flower Mound, Texas.
And Drake wants to get out and go. They are the leading scoring team in the Missouri Valley Conference. Northern Iowa, of course, their calling card is defense.
Luke McDonald out front. A.J. Green trying to get free. He hit the game winner in the lane on a turnaround yesterday. Lohaus, the floater, it's too strong. Long rebound for Anthony Murphy.
And what you see Drake do is they'll look for the opportunity in transition. If it's not there, they'll pull it out.
Here's Tramel Murphy dropping it down. Open. Liam Robbins with the dunk. The 7-foot freshman from Davenport, Iowa, who Melanie talked about at the Open.
That's a physical mismatch. Murphy inside against Lohaus. They had the double team and a nice job to find the open man.
And there's a foul. 4-0 start for Drake.
And this is just good offensive basketball. You take advantage of the double team. McDonald steps up. Nobody steps back to help him out. That's excellent vision and a nice job by Murphy to get off his feet and make a good hard pass through the arms of the defender.
Wyatt Lohaus at a 3, short. Loose out of bounds, and it'll stay at this end.
We talked before the game about Wyatt Lohaus and his ability in the mid-range, but he is a pretty good three-point shooter as well, almost 35% in conference play.
A.J. Green on the baseline, it won't fall. Cold start for the Panthers. 6 seed, they were 9-9 in the conference. Drake tied for the regular season crown of Loyola Chicago, who got beat by 2 by Bradley in semifinal number 1. Liam Robbins. And the back down and kick. 3 straight away. Anthony Murphy drills it.
That's exactly what you have to do. When the ball goes inside, you don't stand there and watch. You get yourself in a position where you can shoot. You get ready to shoot, so you're ready to launch the ball as soon as it gets there.
7-0 start for Drake. Burt Howe elevates. Got it.
And this is a Northern Iowa team that scores 38% of its points from beyond the three-point arc. So the three-point shooting is going to be very important for the Panthers.
Noah Thomas tried to kick it out. Deflected to the hands of Anthony Murphy. Back to Thomas. And he's dealing with a toenail injury. Pretty fast for a guy dealing with a foot injury.
Guy's got a foot injury. He's that fast? You got to be kidding me. Now, that's just a nice job by McDonald stepping in there. Tramel Murphy drove the ball to the basket, but you've got to be able to recognize jump shot, short jumper is better there than trying to get all the way to the basket.
Quickly into the game off the Drake bench is Garrett Sturtz. And Anthony gets a seed, junior from Griffith, Indiana. The 2 twins, they're awesome at the junior college level at Florida Southwestern State College. Tramel Murphy was a 2-time All-American there.
And one of the things that Drake cannot afford, obviously, is foul trouble. They are very short on the bench, literally.
A.J. Green raises up. Left it short, pulled down by Sturtz.
You see a bunch of guys over there, but there's only one scholarship player in that group that can come in as a bench player. The rest of those guys are red shirts or walk-ons.
It's amazing, though, how some of these kids respond in March. You never know. Noah Thomas. He was fantastic down the stretch in yesterday's game. Brady Ellingson, one of the best three-point shooters in America. Thomas fires a three. It's short.
Thomas can make the three, and he's made some big ones, but he's not a high percentage three-point shooter.
Trey Burhow knocks it down. 7-5 start. Burhow with 5.
Burhow scored 11 in the game yesterday, but his main contribution was defensively.
Number 22 for Drake here is Brady Ellingson. 48% from downtown this season. Number 1 in the Valley, number 3 in the country. Slicing in though, and he floats this one up and in.
And that's not normally part of his modus operandi. He is a three-point shooter. Almost 2/3 of his field goal attempts are three-point shots, but obviously you have to play him for more than just the three.
Pick and roll to McDonald, lost his footing, he gets it off though. That one Pickford right back to McDonald, and gets fouled hard by Liam Robbins. 15-11, Drake off to a hot start to 2 seed. 9-5, Ellingson, the senior, and off the bench.
Let that one go. Of course, the flagrant doesn't count any more than the common foul, except that not to Robbins' foul total, but it does put McDonald at the line for 2, and then Northern Iowa will get the ball.
And again, Robbins starting in place of Nick McGlynn, who was second in the voting for Player of the Year in this league and the Defensive Player of the Year. McGlynn hurt his knee yesterday, not playing for the rest of the tournament, so a lot on the shoulders of Liam Robbins. McDonald gets a seat for Northern Iowa. 9-7, 5 minutes in from St. Louis. The winner gets Bradley, the 5 seed. They took down the top seed Loyola Chicago in the first semifinal.
And now Drake stays with their man-to-man. And here's Dahl in the game for UNI, guarded by Pilipovic at 6'7". He's the guy who comes in at center, and he hasn't played very many minutes this year.
Spencer Haldeman turns it over. Brady Ellingson for Drake, and now Noah Thomas.
So far, UNI has done a nice job finding Drake in transition.
Got in the air, Ellingson lost the handle and pulled down by Justin Dahl, the 7-footer. Big body inside. Redshirt junior Carver, Minnesota, sets a screen here. Green fires to Haldeman. He fires a 3 and buries it.
And Haldeman is a very good three-point shooter. 70% of his field goal attempts are from beyond the arc. And he is a high percentage guy, 42% in conference play on the season.
Double comes on Murphy and a foul on the baseline. Dan, how about your keys to the game?
It's going to be an interesting game. Northern Iowa, I think, has an advantage in terms of numbers and in terms of the fact that they can attack the basket because Drake can't afford foul trouble. We talked about the big 3 for Drake. They got to be big time today, and those are the Murphy brothers and Noah Thomas.
Sturtz inbounds. Antonio Pilipovic from Germany. He's a sophomore.
Now 27 of his 30 field goal attempts have been threes, so he is not your typical power inside post play.
8 to shoot for Thomas. Pulls back on the baseline. It's too strong. Tracked down by Sturtz in the corner. Skip it across, Tremel Murphy. Murphy in the lane, fouled by Haldeman. Are they going to get Dahl for this one? It's going to be Justin Dahl, the 7-footer.
Well, Tremel Murphy is a guy who can shoot the three. He doesn't shoot very many, but shoots a pretty high percentage from out there. But we saw yesterday, and we've seen so far in this game today, he passes it up and he attacks the basket.
Tremel Murphy, only 58%, misses the first. Tomorrow night, 7 Eastern, the toughest sport on dirt takes the stage for the U.S. Border Patrol Invitational. The Unleash the Beast series continues right here on CBS Sports Network. 1 of 2 for Tremel.
And Brent, it's not just foul trouble that Darren DeVries has to worry about. He's got to manage his bench. He can't have his guys trying to play 40 minutes in this kind of an environment. He's got to somehow work his rotation to get everybody a few minutes rest from time to time.
Tremel sits here. His twin brother Anthony replaces him. It's a 10-3 UNI run and a foul underneath.
Well, Pilipovic, we said he does not play a great deal. In fact, coming into this game in 18 conference games, he only played 5 minutes a game, a total of 90 minutes. He's 6'7", 228 pounds, really overmatched against Dahl.
Brown knocks one down. Junior, 8 points, 4 rebounds a game. A member of the all-defensive team in the Valley, and it's a 2-point lead for UNI.
And he's another one of those Panthers that can really be good in the mid-range.
Foul away from the ball.
That's 2 on Haldeman. And Haldeman's an important cog. He comes off the bench.
So Haldeman sits.
He really provides him with a lot of offense off that bench.
Pilipovic turned down the 3, drives and misses, and Pickford rebounds for the Panthers.
Well, maybe that's why he shoots all 3s.
Brown tried to get it to Green out of bounds, and a UNI turnover.
And one of the things we saw in our first semifinal is each possession is going to be so valuable in a game with this intensity. And remember, everybody out here understands if they're going to the NCAA tournament, they have to win this tournament. So this is a must-win situation, and you simply cannot give away possessions in one of those kinds of situations.
Pilipovic straight away. Off the mark. Rebound Northern Iowa.
He's only a 25% three-point shooter in conference play, but that's his shot.
It's less than that for the entire season. Skipping corner, Lohaus. Thomas defends. Now McDonald turns it over. Sturts on the run with numbers. Sturts to the rim. Acrobatic layup.
McDonald is a guy upon whom the Panthers rely to make the correct passes and reads at the top of the key. That's the way their offense runs. But he made a bad pass there, and the result is an easy basket for Drake.
Taiwan Pickford. Here comes Sturts again on another takeaway.
Sturts is a gritty player. He does a little bit of everything, and he just keeps battling.
Brady Ellingson. Pilipovic tees another one up and drills it.
This is why Drake is such an entertaining team. Guys come off the bench, and we said a guy who's only played 5 minutes a game in conference play, and he's already taken 3 shots.
And a foul here at 11:16 to play. It's the State Farm Missouri Valley Conference semifinal. They get out in transition with Sturts at the rim. Pilipovic from straight away.
And those games were really close games. You see the conference winner, Drake and Loyola, tied for the top, and they had 6 losses. And that last line is amazing there. The longest conference winning streak by any team was 4 games, and one of the teams to achieve that was Northern Iowa. And another one was Drake.
There you go. Drake enters this one having won 7 of their last 8 and 3 straight, including that quarterfinal victory yesterday. 9 minutes in, Bulldogs by 3. Lohaus elevates and knocks it down.
Elevates with that mid-range jumper. That's exactly what we talked about before the game. By making that three-point shot, Pilipovic has now established himself as somebody you got to guard out there. So let's see if that loosens up the Northern Iowa defense at all.
Thomas shakes his way to the rim for 2.
And he is unbelievably quick. And once he gets by you, you're not catching up to him.
Aaron DeVries says he's only got 1 speed. A.J. Green, strong on a 3. Pilipovic rebounds.
I think if you're Northern Iowa, you have to concentrate on attacking the basket. You don't have any shot blockers in the game right now. Drake has to be careful because of foul trouble. I think he can get some opportunities close to the ball.
Ellingson misses badly. Lohaus another rebound.
Lohaus is just so solid and steady.
Lohaus raises up and knocks another one down.
His ability to pull up off the dribble and shoot that 15 to 18-foot jump shot is really amazing and certainly helps the Northern Iowa offense.
Anthony Murphy off the mark on a 3. Lohaus runs with numbers. Lohaus pulls a 3. It's short. Tapped out of there by Thomas to himself.
I don't think Lohaus pulling a 3 is a bad shot, but pulling a 3 that early in the clock with somebody right in your face is not exactly what Ben Jacobson was looking for.
17-16, 9-19 first half. The winner gets Bradley in the title game tomorrow. Off the curl, floater. Ellingson banks it in this time.
Well, Ellingson, we talked about his ability from 3, and yet he's converted a couple of drives to the basket with tough finishes. He's 2 for 2 and hadn't even attempted a 3 yet.
Trey Burhow. Not there, out of bounds to Drake. Robbins back in, got that early flagrant 1 foul. Freshman from Davenport, Iowa.
Yeah, but Pilipovic is getting a big hand from the Drake faithful, as well he should. Because he really made a big contribution when he was in there. Not only did he give Robbins some minutes, but he gave the Bulldogs some points. Man for the Panthers.
Tremel Murphy to his brother Anthony. Garrett Sturtz in the lane, floats it up and buries it.
Just good ball movement. And after you've moved the defense around with a couple of passes, then you take the ball to the basket, so the help is not really readily available.
Lohaus again, knocks it down.
Does he ever miss one of those?
He had 21 in the quarterfinals. He's got 6 so far in the semifinals. Both of these teams really entertaining basketball. Tremel back down on Burhow. Kick out to Anthony. 2-man game between the twins. Tremel turns and misses, and Burhow rebounds. Lohaus again, off the mark, rebounded by Anthony Murphy. Ellingson, short.
Ellingson's a little bit better with the catch and shoot 3. He had to dribble that one, and again, he had a defender right with him.
Green straight away, got it.
Green did not play well in yesterday's game until it counted. He made the big shot, the decisive shot right at the end of the game with 12 seconds left. But he's the leading scorer for Northern Iowa.
Tremel Murphy floats his shot up and in.
How about that? That's over the 7-footer.
23-21 Drake. Going back and forth in the second semifinal. Green from way out, and again knocks it down. Dogs. He's their leading scorer at 15 a game. Green off the bench, connects from downtown.
Five seed based on tiebreakers, but they started the conference season 0-5 and then got hot, so they are among the teams in the conference playing as well as anybody else right now. And because there was so much parity in the conference, it's not like one of those years when there's a dominant team that it's a stunning upset. That win that they had against Loyola was not, it was an upset, but it wasn't a stunning upset because these teams have played close games against one another all year long.
Here's Tremel Murphy. Poked away, diving on the floor. Three guys on the deck and a tie-up. Northern Iowa basketball in the possession. And we check in with Melanie.
Well, guys, I was just listening in on the Drake huddle, and Coach DeVries, he was very frustrated. He said, we've got to start defending these wide open 15-footers. You're letting guys get open threes, too. That's not how we're going to get stops. He told his players to get your hands up down low, but don't foul. He said, let's finish this half strong.
To that point, Melanie, you and I, 9 of 18 from the field, 4 of 9 at the arc. Drake a little bit better. You're at 53%, 10 of 19 from the field. A.J. Green on the runner. Instead, he dropped it in. Isaiah Brown. Taiwan Pickford, the runner. Way off. Anthony Murphy draws the bump.
That's a great job by Anthony Murphy to recognize that he had Northern Iowa players backpedaling. There was nobody who was going to get in position to take a charge, and if he took the ball strong to the basket, he was going to draw a foul. It's very interesting. Darren DeVries telling his guys that he wants them to play aggressively on defense but not foul. That's a hard thing to do. Whether they've talked about it or not, his guys know that they can't get in foul trouble because there's nobody to help them. And it's very difficult to be aggressive defensively if you've got to be so careful about fouling. You have to be very disciplined and very smart, and from what we've seen of this Drake team, that they are.
Anthony had 16 and 10 rebounds in the quarters. Tremel Murphy had 26 in the quarters. 25-24 Drake. 5:26 remaining. Green lost it. Anthony Murphy is all over him. Pickford had it stripped, got it back. 2 to shoot, got a fire. Isaiah Brown with 1. Got it off, left it short.
That's excellent defense.
Tremel Murphy turns it over. And Lohaus back in for Northern Iowa, along with Luke McDonald.
When Dahl's in the game, it's a sort of a different looking offense for Northern Iowa, because Dahl is not the passer and facilitator that McDonald is, but Dahl gives him a defensive presence and a physical presence inside on offense that McDonald simply doesn't provide. So it's a different defensive look for Drake.
Green, baseline. Popped out of there. Burhow tracks it down. Brown pulls it. In and out. McDonald. Foul on the rebound on McDonald.
Now McDonald may not be the burliest guy in the world, but he certainly pushed Tremel Murphy a pretty fair distance fighting for that rebound. Iowa stays in the man-to-man.
9 to shoot. Anthony Murphy fouled on a 3 by Burhow.
And with the lineup that Drake has in the game, the Murphy brothers Ellingson, Sturtz, and Noah Thomas, they're like basically all guards. And so you'd think Northern Iowa would try to punch it inside, but there's not going to be a low post presence in there. So what you're going to see Drake do is take the ball and drive it to the basket.
3 free throws off the foul by Burhow, who's coming off what Ben Jacobson called his best defensive effort of the season, absolutely shutting down one of the league's best players in Armand Fletcher of Southern Illinois yesterday.
And Armand Fletcher was a guy for Southern Illinois coming into the tournament, had averaged over his last 8 games 22 points a game, and he just was frustrated all night long by Burhow.
So Burhow sits, Drake by 3, 4:07 left, another free throw for Anthony Murphy.
Murphy made his first 6 free throw attempts last night. He missed a couple at the end of the game when it didn't matter, but he has been very, very good from the line.
Yeah, 5 of 5 in this game so far. 4-point lead for the Bulldogs.
So now Sturtz is matched up inside against McDonald. You got to get McDonald the ball.
Green turnaround shot won't fall. Fighting for his own rebound and a push. 3:41 first half. Second semifinal in St. Louis.
Into the lane on the pass or the dribble and then driving it to the basket. They've made some tough finishes, but their points inside are not those back to the basket kind of power points that some 6'10" guy would get you. But they're guys driving the ball to the basket, and Northern Iowa does not have shot blockers. They're not a shot blocking team, so they can be attacked off the dribble, and so far Drake is doing it successfully.
Out of the timeout, Luke McDonald. Hands off A.J. Green. Raises up and knocks one in.
Green is certainly somebody who doesn't let a bad play bother him. He just keeps coming at you. He is unflappable. Plays with a great deal of confidence.
Ellingson in the lane, turnaround. And Pickford clears it for UNI.
Haldeman back in the game with those 2 fouls. He's got to be careful defensively.
Green, Haldeman, deep 3. Short, and tracked down in the corner by Murphy.
So Liam Robbins back in the game for Drake, so they're with a more traditional lineup, not that 5-guard lineup they had before.
Noah Thomas. Thomas wheeling in the lane, draws the double. Kicks for Sturtz. He's in the lane with 5 to shoot. 2 to shoot for Anthony Murphy. His 3 is in.
And Pickford was there, but he didn't really contest the shot because Murphy was so far away. And when that ball hit the basket, you can see Pickford's shoulders just sag.
Timeout Panthers. Drake by 5. Anthony Murphy. And all of today's news and highlights, all coming up on AT&T at the half. Drake by 5, 2:14 before we get to New York, and Anthony Murphy moments ago knocking down a big 3. He's 2 of 3 beyond the arc. He's in double figures. Thomas all over Lohaus.
And the man-to-man defense has been really good despite that fact that they got to be careful and not foul.
7 to shoot for Green. Working on Murphy. Back door they go. Acrobatic laying goes down for Taiwan Pickford.
That was a tough shot, but really good defense by Garrett Sturtz, keeping the ball away from McDonald on the inside. That is a real mismatch in there, but Sturtz fought him off.
Ellingson cannot get free for a clean look at a 3. 48% from downtown, 3rd in the country.
Sturtz is not a 3-point shooter.
Sturtz on the interior. Shot clock at 2. Fall away from Sturtz is off. McDonald the rebound. Lohaus wants to go on Sturtz and draws the whistle.
Boy, Lohaus is always looking for that opening.
Such a fun player to watch. Redshirt senior, North Liberty, Iowa. 9.5 points, 2.5 rebounds per game. Struggled down the stretch. He scored 19 points combined in his final 3, but rebounded with 21 in the quarterfinals and a good first half here.
And he shoots nearly 80% from the free throw line, so you know he'd like to have that one back.
Minute to play in the first half. Thomas on a 3. It's off the mark. Pickford lost it. Tremel Murphy for Anthony Murphy. Back to Tremel, mishandled, and a turnover back to the Panthers, and they throw it out of bounds.
Well, that's one that just makes you shake your head. There were 3 Panthers right there. Drake had gone down to the other end of the court, and the ball, they just couldn't handle the ball.
Ben Jacobson gives these guys so much leeway. Treats it like a professional organization. Sometimes lets them figure out their own mistakes, and you see it more often than not down the stretch of games. They take on that personality of just staying relaxed, not getting uptight and making plays.
It's about a 6-second difference between the shot clock and the game clock.
22 seconds on the game clock. Thomas going to be patient here. And now 8 to shoot. Thomas going to go. Spinning in the lane, took the extra step.
Now Halderman's going to get off the bench, give him another 3-point shooter. And Sturtz is going to come in, and Robbins is going to go out. So now the very small lineup back in the game for Drake. They're going to try to push up and defend full court.
11.8 on the clock. Green going to bring it up. Northern Iowa down 3, 5 seconds. Screen by Brown. Green with 2 seconds. Against Ellingson in the lane, floats it up, partially blocked. Halftime is here. (31-28) Drake. (11) for Anthony Murphy to lead all scorers, and we check in with Melanie.
Well, Coach, good down there as maybe it appears they're switching on us. In terms of the first half, he felt like his team was just a half a step off. He said we just need to dig in and ramp it up.
Melanie, thanks.
And that's a good point that Ben Jacobson made to Melanie. You can't change everything you do for one particular game. However, I think they need to execute a little bit better.
Tremel Murphy, opening possession, knocked out of his hands. Anthony's got it now. Noah Thomas in the lane, lost it. Isaiah Brown.
That's a really good job. You know they're going to try to penetrate inside. People helping out, having very active hands.
A.J. Green trying to shake the defender, and a foul on Anthony Murphy.
Green is just relentless. He's the point guard, but he's looking to score as his first option.
Off the inbound, Burhow fouled on a 3 by Tremel Murphy.
And Tremel Murphy's hurt. Tremel Murphy came down on his elbow. That looked bad. Oh my. Ooh, he just landed on that right arm. The right arm sort of got caught underneath him as he fell.
This is a team whose top 3 players are injured. And now Murphy is on the floor.
They are literally running out of guys.
Tremel Murphy, who had 26 in the quarterfinals yesterday. Holding that right elbow as he gets taken off the floor.
And there's Nick McGlynn. He got hurt yesterday. So now Garrett Sturtz is going to come in, and that fundamentally changes what Drake is able to do, because Tremel Murphy is their one inside presence other than Liam Robbins, but Robbins is a guy that doesn't have much experience. Murphy has been their attack guy inside.
So they have 6 guys now.
Yes.
To play.
Yes. And Murphy is leaving the bench area. He's going to the locker room.
They lost Nick McGlynn, who finished second in the Player of the Year voting in the Valley, to an injury, knee injury yesterday. Not to mention the DJ Wilkins injury, broken ankle at the end of regular season. Nick Norton, who had been averaging 14 a game with 4 rebounds and 6 assists a game, went down at the start of conference play. And now Tremel Murphy being taken to the locker room for Drake. Here's Noah Thomas, Anthony Murphy. Murphy on the drive. Liam Robbins spins on McDonald short. McDonald the rebound.
And Liam Robbins is a guy who's only averaged about 10 minutes a game all year. It's going to be tough to rely on him to be your inside post presence.
Green got the rebound off his own miss.
Not that he can't, he just doesn't have a lot of experience doing it.
31-30. Green crawls off. Down to Melanie.
Well, guys, you just saw Tremel Murphy head into the locker room with that right elbow injury. That's the same elbow he dislocated in December versus North Dakota State. His dad actually just came down to the front of the stands and asked him, "Are you okay?" when he was on his way out. He replied, "Yes." So I will keep you updated as soon as I know more.
Low House knocks it down. 32-31. UNI back in front. Sturtz, Murphy, Robbins, Thomas, and Ellingson, the 5 for Drake. Thomas open in the corner. Short. Robbins on the rebound. Tried to stick it back, and he's fouled.
Well, that was excellent ball movement, and they found an open guy in the corner, but Noah Thomas only shoots 32% from beyond the arc on the year, and in fact, in conference play, his numbers are under 30%. So that's a nice job by Northern Iowa. You help off a guy who is not a great shooter.
7-foot freshman from Davenport, Iowa, Liam Robbins. Forced into heavy duty in the semifinal game here in the Valley Tournament.
Now, he's not going to see much duty anyway if he's playing behind Nick McGlynn. And so he just doesn't have a lot of experience. Played under 9 minutes a game in conference play. And his role was just to come in and give McGlynn a couple of minutes here and there, but it's a vastly different role now.
This was already a big-time roster turnover situation. Only 2 returning letter winners for this season for Drake. Lowhouse has it spin out this time, and a foul on Robbins.
Robbins had inside position, but McDonald does a really nice job fighting him off and going for the ball. Robbins just a little slow reacting to the location of the basketball. McDonald a little quicker, and Robbins just decks him. That's 2 fouls on Robbins.
Brown inbounds to McDonald. A.J. Green, we said it, relentless. Turns it over this time, though, to Sturtz.
Well, that's one of the problems that Green has had this year. He's got more turnovers than assists, and that's not something you want to have with one of your guards.
3 minutes deep, second half, deadlocked at 32. The winner gets Bradley in the final tomorrow. Thomas short on a 3. Berhow corrals it for UNI.
And again, given the fact that Thomas is a low percentage three-point shooter, if you're Northern Iowa, I think you're okay with that shot.
Lohaus again, rattles it in.
And that was over the outstretched arms of the 7-footer.
Murphy in and out on a 3. Brown saved it off the leg of Thomas. What's he thinking right now? Tremel Murphy, top 3 guys out, and Tremel Murphy is hurt. I mean, I guess you just keep going, right?
Well, you have no choice. You can't feel sorry for yourself, because if you do, then that carries over to your players. The players always know how the coach is feeling, so the coach has to keep his energy up. I don't know how he feels, but I'm thinking, you know, if it wasn't for bad luck, these guys wouldn't have any luck at all.
Amazing. Brown elevates. Too strong.
But keep in mind, they're behind by 2.
Thomas steams the other way.
Somehow Ellingson has to do a better job getting himself open.
Sturts drills a 3.
Coming in conference play, he was only 2 of 10 from out there, so that's a big basket.
Lohaus. Off the mark, Ellingson rebounds.
And you know, maybe if you're Drake, what you have to do is you've got to get performances from guys who don't normally provide those kinds of performances. Pilipovic, Sturts, gonna have to do things that they're not normally expected to do.
The faithful from Drake trying to will him to a win. Pilipovic off the mark. McDonald backing down.
That's not really McDonald's game. He is not a power guy inside. He's a finesse guy, and Pilipovic is big enough to force him away from the basket.
It's the State Farm Missouri Valley Conference semifinal. The Bulldogs depleted, but fighting, leading by 1 thanks to Sturts. Drake by 1. They shared the regular season title here in the Valley with Loyola, who got beat by Bradley in the first semifinal. Tremel right to work, misses inside, and picked up by Haldeman.
Dahl open on the inside and they missed him.
Dahl backs down and kicks. 6 to shoot, Green. Green, short.
The Drake defense, despite the fact that they've got to be careful not to foul, has been excellent. Northern Iowa's taken a lot of contested shots.
Here's Tremel Murphy. Pilipovic. Anthony Murphy. Got it.
And Drake, they keep the pressure on. They keep the pressure on defensively. And just when you think you've got an opportunity, they come back and they keep it on offensively, making some offensive plays.
Lohaus. UPEP.
And that's a big shot. Again, the three-pointer is a very important part of the Northern Iowa arsenal, and they've shot it very poorly so far today.
Pilipovic, short. Green on the attack. Steal by Sturts. Sturts to the rim. Follow shot. Anthony Murphy.
That's just great hustle. Anthony Murphy just beat Northern Iowa down the court. There's nobody there to block him out.
He's got 16, Drake by 3. Green lost the handle.
Again, Green can be a little bit turnover prone. That's 2 consecutive turnovers.
Anthony Murphy again. Pickford fights for the rebound.
That's a great block out by Pickford.
Drake wanted to travel, didn't get it. Timeout. 40-37. 12:07 second half in the second semifinal here in St. Louis. Defense into offense. Starts the follow by Murphy.
Well, it's sometimes you just don't match up very well against one team. It's a strange kind of thing.
The Aztecs got the auto bid out of the Mountain West last year with that magical run. You will be there again out west next week in Las Vegas.
And one of the amazing stats of this game, we talked about how thin the bench was for Drake, but their bench has outscored the UNI bench 10-5.
We'll figure.
And we've been looking at Tramel Murphy. It looks like the only change that he's made is he moved that sleeve from his left arm to his right arm.
Lohaus rattles out. What an effort by Pickford, but he was out of bounds. Under 12 in St. Louis. Bradley is into the title game. Will it be UNI or Drake?
This is a Drake team that continues to battle. I think Northern Iowa's got to do something to change the tempo of the game. I think they have to do a better job attacking the basket.
You've been doing this tournament for a long time. It's always fun coming to the Valley this time of year, huh, St. Louis? And
that's a great place for the tournament. They do such a great job here. And all these games always seem to be extremely competitive.
This one's got to look. And it's going down to the wire. Tramel Murphy, who went to the locker room for x-rays a short time ago, back in with a vengeance. McDonald slicing to the cup.
That's really the first time McDonald has rolled after setting one of those screens, and now Northern Iowa's got to dig in here defensively.
Trying to go backdoor. And Pilipovic for Tramel Murphy. Shot clock at 7. Anthony Murphy with 2. Fall away. Tracked down by Pickford. A lot of contact, no call as Tramel went to the deck again. Lohaus, you bet.
That's really good defense by Drake to prevent Northern Iowa from getting all the way to the basket, but the kick out went to Lohaus, and as we've seen, he's deadly in that mid-range.
He's got 15. It's a 1-point game. Midpoint second half. Tramel, stop and start off. Class won't fall.
Now Murphy trying to muscle it to the basket, and he's had success in both of their games in this tournament, but not that time.
Haldeman races up, rattles it in. Timeout. The mid-range, talked about in the open. Lohaus and company. Normal because of the depleted roster and all the injuries, and they have filled in admirably.
Well, one of the things that you may see Darren DeVries do is use his timeouts a little differently than maybe he would otherwise. Not to give his players rest, but he's going to have to be very quick to try to do something to stop any hint of momentum for Northern Iowa.
Tremel Murphy wheels in the lane and fires it in.
And when you can call a timeout and come right back and score, that stops momentum. So that was a really nice job executing.
Tremel's got 9. McDonald gets fouled by Thomas on the block.
Well, Thomas has been out of the game a while, and he stayed out, changed his hairstyle, and maybe that'll help him because he's been struggling so far today. But Tremel Murphy, he doesn't need any. All he did was change the sleeve on his from one arm to the other. But Thomas has his hair up. He didn't have that before.
That's right.
And that's another foul, I think, on Thomas.
That's 2 quick ones on Noah Thomas. That's his second. The foul, injuries, they've been snake bitten, but in terms of fouls, nobody has more than 2 for Drake. 44-43. 9:12 left. McDonald had a shot changed inside.
Well, McDonald took too long. He had the advantage, but you got to go quickly. He allowed Murphy to get there and block the shot. If you're going to take that long, you got to be looking around for your teammates because somebody's coming to help.
Shot clock at 8. Thomas. Anthony Murphy with 5. Lost it to Haldeman.
Oh, wow.
3 is in from way out. Burhow.
That was right in front of Ben Jacobson. That is deep.
Panthers back in front. Tremel fouled on the drive.
Well, Burhow, we mentioned, he is a pretty solid three-point shooter, but he pulls up. That is a long way. That is a deep, deep 3.
46-44.
Again, the smaller lineup in the game for Drake.
Ellingson won't fall.
Ellingson, who's such an outstanding three-point shooter, has actually only attempted 1 3 in the entire game. Credit to Northern Iowa defense with taking away that particular strength.
Lohaus shakes free and knocks it in.
He hasn't missed one of those things the entire game.
He's got 17. Foul. Lohaus holding up Ellingson on the cut. Lohaus in the mid-range game of Northern Iowa, a thing of beauty.
In the mid-range and knocking them down, and that is what's keeping Northern Iowa in the game and has now catapulted them ahead.
17 for Lohaus. Northern Iowa by 4, 7:40 left. Tremel Murphy with a tough shot, and McDonald, a lot of elbows there, no call. UNI basketball at 4.
McDonald's really fortunate. That could have been called a foul.
Lohaus, fall away, got it.
That was an unbelievably difficult shot. We just showed you those mid-range shots. They were open. Well, that one wasn't necessarily open, and now we get a foul on Tremel Murphy. Got to be very careful swinging those elbows. Got him right in the chin. And the officials may actually go and look at that, although they might also be looking at this play down underneath where they just called a foul on Murphy. There was a lot of contact under the basket after Lohaus made that shot, and I think that's what the officials are looking at.
UNI has opened it up by 6. They've got 19 from Low House, 10 from Berhow. Anthony Murphy leading Drake with 16. At what point is Drake just out of gas? Is going to be the question here down the stretch.
And that's a very good question. Look at the bottom of your screen. And there's Tremel Murphy, and he just pushes he pushes McDonald right in the back. Now remember, McDonald just got him with an elbow on the other end, and so that may have been a little bit of frustration. And so the officials, you know, they could be looking at both of those plays. And a flagrant one, an excessive and or unnecessary contact is what we're looking at here, and particularly when you make contact by swinging an elbow above the shoulder. But based on the way Darren DeVries is reacting, that the play they were looking at. Here's the first one. You're trying to defend. Now the other thing is that it looked like Murphy could have been in the cylinder there of Low House. You're not allowed to do that. So what we're going to get, it appears that what they've called is the flagrant one against McDonald. So Murphy will go to the free throw line to shoot the 2.
Tremel Murphy. Double figures now at 10. Well, that's a big call. I mean, UNI was gathering some momentum in a game that has gone back and forth the entire way. Had stretched it to 6. He gets 1 of 2, and they get possession here, down 5 now.
Well, now the foul was called on Murphy down on the other end, but it was not a shooting foul. So they called the flagrant one, and the penalty for a flagrant one is 2 shots and the ball. So you're right, Brent. So it's 2 shots and the ball. So that's the call. Flagrant one against McDonald. Personal foul, common foul against Murphy down on the other end, but the flagrant foul, 2 shots in the ball, and so basically it turns out to be a 3-point play.
You got the free throw from Tremel Murphy. Shot goes down for Ellingson. It's a 3-point game under 7 left.
What a turnaround right there, potentially.
Huge. Holloman from way out.
Basically, Northern Iowa was up 6. There was a foul called on Murphy, so it'd be Northern Iowa's ball up 6. But instead, you get the flagrant one foul down for the play before, and they can make the shot and then get a 2 coming off, so they get 3 points.
Thomas, reverse lay-in. So 5 in a row since that moment you talked about, and it's a 1-point game.
And maybe that'll get Thomas going a little bit. That's only his 2nd field goal.
And a foul on Pilipovic.
And that is the 7th team foul. Thomas, again, he has struggled today, but this is the one time that in the game that he's really been able to effectively get in the lane. Now, that's not an easy shot. That's not terrible defense right there. He just made a great play offensively. So it's a 1-and-1. And McDonald, a 65% free throw shooter. And the debate they're having now is that the substitute wants to come in for McDonald.
McDonald has 4 fouls. Short.
I feel like the guys on the pitcher's mound in Bull Durham. We got a lot of stuff going on.
6:07 left. 2nd semifinal in St. Louis. Arch Madness. The winner gets Bradley, the 5 seed. They knocked off the 1 seed Loyola Chicago earlier. And Thomas wheels and scores back-to-back buckets for Noah Thomas.
So that's 7 in a row now for Drake.
And they've copped a 1-point advantage, and Ben Jacobson wants timeout.
So maybe the change in hairstyle really helped because he's been more aggressive since he came back in the game. That's a really nice job. There's nobody in the lane. They clear everybody out and give Thomas some room to operate the defense a little slow getting over to help.
So UNI goes on a 7-0 run. Then McDonald gets called for a flagrant 1. And Drake responds with a 7-0 run of their own, and they lead by 1.
But the interesting thing about that flagrant 1 for 2 subsequent buckets to take the lead. What a turnaround.
And every time you think Drake might run out of gas, or players, whichever comes first, they make a run. Saw it yesterday in the quarterfinals. Seeing it again today. Low house. Burhow in rhythm. .5:20 remaining. Bulldogs by 1.
You see, there's nobody in the post. The lane is wide open. They're trying to create some driving lanes.
Thomas has been hot. 7 to shoot for Thomas. Another reverse lay-in for Noah Thomas.
I mean to tell you, he really struggled. He was 4 consecutive threes. They took him out. He sat for a while, but since he's come back in, he's really been good.
He pulled his hair back, and now he's going to work. Lohaus attacks baseline and scores.
And that's a really good play because there are no shot blockers in the game for Drake.
21 for Lohaus, same as what he did in the quarters yesterday.
That's something maybe you don't do with McGlynn in the game, but McGlynn, of course, is injured. He hasn't played in the entire game, and Robbins, the 7-footer, is over on the bench.
Shot clock at 6 for Thomas. Going to work on Haldeman. Thomas, fall away. Not this time.
That was a great job by Haldeman, moving his feet, preventing Thomas from going around, making him take the tough pull-up jump shot.
Foul on Pilipovic. Drake by 1. 3:47 left. Noah Thomas coming alive for Drake. Wyatt Lohaus has got 21.
College basketball on CBS Sports Network is sponsored by State Farm. Talk to an agent today at 800-STATE-FARM. By CDW, people who get it. And by Pringles, stack flavors, make new ones.
Rebound, and he has helped propel Drake to the 1-point lead in this game. So why switch haircut to another hairstyle?
He can't make it up.
So old hairstyle was 25 minutes, new hairstyle is 4 minutes. The 4 minutes have been much more productive than the 25. Lohaus now with 22 points. His season high is 23. His career high is 25. He has been the one constant for Northern Iowa today.
10 of 17 from the field. Now 2 of 3 at the line. Northern Iowa back in front. 3:47 remaining in St. Louis. The winner gets Bradley. the 5 seed in tomorrow's NBC final on CBS. Hesitation, but Ellingson knocks it down anyway.
But Lohaus fell down trying to get around the screen. The fortunate break for Northern Iowa right there is Ellingson did not get out beyond the three-point line.
Drake snatches the lead right back. Lohaus all the way to the rim.
And Thomas is hurting now. Man, that's a great job by Anthony Murphy telling him, hey, you got to hurry up. Because the 10 seconds nearly expired. That was nearly a violation.
Here's Tremel Murphy. Turnaround. Foul by Berhow. And that's Berhow's 4th.
Well, I think the problem right there is Noah Thomas ran into his own guy. He ran into Pilipovic. And we're sitting here looking at Thomas. He's basically standing right in front of us. He's still hurt.
Again, he had been struggling with a toenail injury coming into the weekend.
Well, he cracked hips there with Pilipovic. It's not a good thing when your own guy screens you off.
56-56.
Well, here's A.J. Green back in the game. It's been a while since he's been, and he's another guy who has struggled today. And it looks like Ben Jacobson has decided to put the game in the hands of Lohaus.
Lohaus has got 25 on 11 of 18. 2.5 to play. Deadlocked at 56. Berhow off balance and a foul called on Tremel Murphy.
And that's a call you have to make. There was not a lot of contact there, but anytime you have contact that results in an advantage for the defensive player, you have to make that call. Not a lot of contact, but he does bump into him, and when he bumps into him, Berhow falls down.
4 fouls now on Tremel Murphy. Pilipovic also has 4 for Drake. Berhow knocks in the first.
Well, that may not be a big factor unless we go to overtime. The more important thing here is that foul puts Berhow at the line.
And he got them both. 2-point lead, UNI. 2:31 left.
And Thomas has found a wet spot in the middle of the floor, points it out to the officials.
Gives him a chance to catch his breath.
Absolutely, that is a really smart play by Thomas. Whether there's anything there or not, it gives him a couple of seconds to breathe.
Each team with 2 guys who've got 4 fouls.
And of course, that's a much more important stat for Drake.
Yep.
They only have 7 available players.
Noah Thomas. Pilipovic. Anthony Murphy. Thomas. Shot clock at 10. Murphy drives on Brown. Pilipovic back to Anthony Murphy. Turned it over.
Good defense. He was going to shoot the ball, but Isaiah Brown was right there. Now Haldeman back in the game. A.J. Green out again.
Lohaus has been the man for the Panthers. He's got it with 6 to shoot from way out. Too strong. Fight for the rebound into the hands of Ellingson.
Well, Lohaus, of course, has been much better closer to the basket. That was just a long shot because the clock was running down. Not very well executed that time by Northern Iowa.
Timeout Drake, 1:26 to play. Bulldogs down 2. The winner faces Bradley, the 5 seed. They beat the top seed Loyola Chicago, who of course won this tournament last year and then had that magical run to the Final Four. So the 5 seed
Wes Washburn, a basket at the buzzer that hit the back of the rim and bounced up in the air. And while it was in the air, the buzzer went off and it bounced back down through. Well, they didn't execute on the offensive end. Now let's see if Northern Iowa can execute on the defensive end.
Into Ellingson. Pilipovic, corner 3. Left it short. Haldeman on the weak side.
And that's clearly the play that was called during the timeout. Filipovic, we've seen him hit a three today. That's a lot to ask that young man, though. Or ask of that young man.
Lohaus off the bounce with the left. It wouldn't go. 1 minute to play. Northern Iowa by 2.
Drake has had a lot of success spreading out and letting Thomas just work one-on-one. But Trammell Murphy's got to get out of the way if that's going to happen. Instead, Murphy's going to go one-on-one.
Trammell blocked inside. .12-second difference. Came in shots. 34 seconds to play here in St. Louis.
What a great defensive play by McDonald. He just left Filipovic because he knew Trammell Murphy was going to go to the basket, and he blocked the shot. Murphy's got to understand that if he's going to take that long, he's got to pass the ball to somebody. Here's what we're talking about. Murphy takes his time inside, and McDonald just comes over and blocks it. Who made the big shot yesterday and has made big shots throughout his freshman year, even though he's played poorly so far today. He's turned it over a couple times. Only 3 for 12. He's in the game for the big shot situation.
27.6. UNI the lead by 2. And Green's got it. McDonald now. Shot clock under 10. Hand off. Haldeman. Lohaus had it poked away by Thomas. Thomas lost it.
It's going to be a shot clock violation.
End of the shot clock. Right there. They forgot to blow the horn because of the way things went down, but there's 9.8 on the clock here.
Well, the question here is, did Drake ever have possession of the ball? And that's going to be a judgment call on the part of the officials. Ben Jacobson is claiming that Drake took a couple of dribbles, so they had control of the ball. Let's see. The ball is tipped ahead. No control there. No control there. I don't think Drake ever had control of the basketball.
So this is, according to what you're saying, it's going to be Drake basketball with 9.8.
Well, based on what I see, that Drake never had control of the ball. Now, sometimes when a guy grabs the ball and throws it back in bounds, they ruled that a team had control of the ball, but they never had control of the ball. I don't think so. They're calling it a shot clock violation. Never had control of the ball, so they'll have to put more time back on the clock. Around 12.2.
Wow. First semifinal came down to the wire. Second semifinal, same thing.
Well, they got to put time back on the clock.
It's 9.8 right now, but as you said, yeah, there should be 2.5 seconds or so.
Well, at the point that it goes to 0, that's the shot clock violation. So when the shot clock goes to 0, then the game clock should stop. And we clearly showed you the shot clock was at 0, and there was 12.2. Shot clock's at 0, 12.3 or 12.2, actually it's 12.4. Good catch by the officials. Now 12.4 is plenty of time. And what we saw out of the last time out, keep in mind for Drake, is they came in and they set up a play for a 3.
The winner gets Bradley in tomorrow's final.
Drake has had success in the second half, but later stages of the second half, spreading the court and allowing Noah Thomas in particular to go one-on-one against Haldeman. Now, Northern Iowa reacted when they allowed Murphy to go one-on-one, to converging on Murphy. So if the defense converges, then the guy with the ball has to be able to find the open man. And so Ben Jacobson has his best defensive team out on the court.
12.4. Drake down 2. Sturtz inbounds. Trammell Murphy. 10 seconds to drive, the spin, the score! Ties the game at 58. 8.7 seconds.
They've got plenty of time.
Lowhouse with 4 seconds. Lowhouse to the rim. Lays it in with 2.1. Drake inbounds. Thomas, 1 second, half-court heave. Thomas off the mark. Northern Iowa wins the game.
No timeouts left. Remember what Ben Jacobson told us? He expects these guys to go out and make plays. Well, they did right there. Neither team had any timeouts left, but Ben Jacobson very comfortable with his guys making decisions for themselves in key situations, and that's exactly what Lowhouse did. He just takes the ball to the basket. He's looking for a foul. He doesn't get it. And then they actually do a pretty good job defensively disrupting the inbounds pass. What a play.
Lowhouse with 27.